So hi, One Thing Noise podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Chris from Bury Tomorrow.
And
How are you
some
guys?
questions today about their upcoming album, The Seventh Son. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we released anything new. I guess the world shut down for a little while.
Yeah.
And everything changed for a lot of people. Bury Tomorrow was no exception there. But yeah, it felt like thankfully we got to test the waters a little with the couple of singles we released before Abandon Us, the first single from this record. And I think some people assume that Life and Death are going to be on the album, but, unfortunately that's not the case. But it actually worked out pretty well. We got to see what people were vibing about those two tracks before. Well, to be honest, it was a bit late. They were recorded anyway, but regardless, we got to see the reaction. So we weren't as worried about releasing songs from The Seventh Son. But yeah, I mean, it's just bizarre to release new music again. I completely forgot what it felt like, but just overwhelmed with gratitude, really. I don't think we could ask for much else.
That's fucking awesome. The album is awesome. Bolt Cutter is still a fucking ripper, even after listening to the entire record. It's still fucking awesome.
So is that your favorite?
I think so. Right now, I only listened to the album once, so I got to give it a few more spins. But that's been the standout single for me as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean it's a bit of a mixed bag. I'm pretty much the only few friends I have shown have been like they've all got a different favorite song, so it's cool. But I guess we all listen to music in different ways. So
for sure.
Absolutely. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah, so essentially we were batting around a couple of ideas and we just wrote the record under the name Seven, pretty much just because it's our seventh album. But also it was just coincidental that we felt like there was a lot of change around our band whilst we were recording and writing our seventh album, or what would become The Seventh Son. Seven as a number has got, some sort of mystic vibe to it. I mean, it's a number of renewal. There's 7 days in a week. There's 7 hells, it's just the number 7 essentially is just, there's a bit of a cycle, but it's also quite representative of change and renewal. And we very much felt like that was the case with us. So we just, we decided on The Seventh Son. And yeah, it's very representative of the change that Bury Tomorrow's felt, but also society as a whole. We've all gone through such big changes in our lives and felt that the number 7 coincided with the fact that we wanted to change the music style. We had a new lineup, everything's changed for us. So yeah, we thought, and The Seven Sons a very positive way to highlight that.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. All right. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
It was cool because, I mean, usually it's all kind of just been myself that's written every record prior to this. I guess primarily anyway, it's always a collective effort, but they all just start with me and I write all the riffs and so on. But this time I actually had people to back riffs off, which was quite a first for me, but it meant that we had 3 times the amount of demos. And so, yeah, I think that was a big thing. Just this record in particular felt a much more collaborative effort. We were all just really inspired, and it just felt like six mates who enjoy writing metal music again, just being completely immersed and inspired. So yeah, I think that the writing process was not necessarily different because I kind of still write the same, but I felt that we could all be inspired way more by the things that we like as away from the metal sphere of things. So before, I feel like every record has just been a better Bury Tomorrow album. It's just been a better metalcore record. Mm-hmm. Whereas this, I felt like we could be inspired by that. I listen to a lot of dance music, and I felt like we could pull from that. Bands like Thrice, bands like Korn, bands like American Football, but also musicians like Bjork, and so much that we pulled from. Mastodon, the list goes on. But I feel like we could really be ourselves musically, regardless of the term metalcore. Mm-hmm. So it felt really cool to be able to just experiment and just be completely at peace with each other's writing styles, and there was no conflict it was just a super fun, authentic time, I think, to answer your question.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is the plan from this point forward to have that more collaborative process where you have people to bounce your ideas off of?
I I think so. And when I say like collaborative, it's just essentially between the six of us. But yeah, I feel like we've kind of, I feel like we've scratched the surface on what Bury Tomorrow can be now.
Mhm.
Because initially we were like, what could this be? Now we know what it can be and we know what it is. Obviously, we're not doing something completely different because we're still a metal band. We don't want to alienate our fan base, but we definitely want to make more fans. And we also want to keep ourselves happy. We don't want to be, bored of doing the same kind of formula. So it felt like this time was right to try new things. And now we know what works and what we enjoy about it. And we can carry that through to the next writing process. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. So what song off this album took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Oh, goodness. I feel like I stayed awake for 2 days writing Heretic. That could be one of them. I was so sleep deprived, but I felt like I was onto a winner. The riff, so the verse riff, the initial verse riff started at Ed's house. I just went down to hang out for a few days, and he lives by the beach. It's a beautiful area. So, I live in the forest, but he lives by the beach. So, yeah, it was quite a nice contrast. Started with a riff there, but then we took it into the studio, and I remember it just plaguing me, but I knew that there was something there that we needed to carry on with. I mean, so I'd say Heretic. Abandon Us as well was one that finished in the studio. And that, do you know something? I think it was Abandon Us because the riff, what I call the angry bee riff, the angry wasp riff, it's the
yeah,
that riff. I've had that for so long, and I also had the first breakdown riff for a while, for years. But I kept trying to put it in places, and Dan was like, "It doesn't work there. It doesn't work there. It doesn't work here." And finally, I just changed the tuning a bit and just slide it in there, and it actually became a very popular part of the song after the consequential insignificance.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to say Abandon Us for the longest. My personal favourite's Heretic, though.
Okay.
Or Care. I don't know. Care was the very first one we started writing, even before Life and Death, and I'm really proud of how that came out too. So yeah, maybe those two.
All right.
Hell yeah. I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on you staying up for 2 days straight working on a song. How did you not drive yourself insane by just sleep deprivation?
It was mad. I pretty much just survived on coffee and weed, to be honest. It was a pretty
the two necessities.
The best combo.
Right.
Yeah. I was just like, right, well, I can't sleep because I'm so preoccupied by this idea. So maybe I'll smoke. Now I'm not tired. I don't know. I just felt very in the moment, I guess. But yeah, I slept hard. Our producer, Dan Weller, was just like, go to bed. He's like, you've done now. Go to bed. So yeah. But, it felt like, just when you're a kid and you go to a sleepover with your pals and you're just determined to stay awake just to beat the sunlight. Whereas I was like, I need to beat this almost blockade of riffs. So yeah, we must overcome.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. It's crazy to hear that with that sleep deprivation, you didn't block yourself in. You didn't hit kind of like an unintentional writer's block because you're so tired. But I guess it's that energy and also the coffee and weed probably helped you stay a little motivated as well.
Yeah, I think so. It was just a really good vibe, but I felt that I had so many parts, it was just like a constant jigsaw, just trying to feel like which bit worked. I had to sack off a few until, then write different variations of the verse riffs. So it could be the same formula, but the riffs had to be a little different. And yeah, I wrote in a very particular way this time. Obviously, just subjectively speaking, it was, like I say, it was collaborative, but I wrote a little differently. And maybe it just the environment just kind of kept me awake, to be honest, and kept us all motivated. So maybe that's why I stayed up.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
So how'd the track list for your album come about? Did you guys write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
This time, I pretty much knew in my head what. So when Ed wrote The Seventh Son, the opening track, and he also wrote The Carcass King. The only kind of bits we collaborated on is I wrote the solo in Seventh Son and a little riff at the start, but all the main riffs and everything were Ed's. And I heard that, so I heard The Seventh Son, was like, that's the album opener, 100%. And he also sent Carcass King, and I was like, that is quite emotive and very different for Bury Tomorrow. That's the closer. And then you kind of just get a vibe. Like usually when there's a big anthemic kind of vibe, that's always a track 3 for me. It always has been. I used to study records when I was a kid in the way that the album flowed. And for me, like, I always like the bang, bang, 1 and 2. And then 3 is like a bit of a single, a bit more of a, oh, rejoice. And then you can just go wherever with it. But I really wanted musically this record to feel like one continuous piece, or at least a story musically. And it felt that Seven Son was the opener with Abandoners, just the way that starts, that was a very easy number 2. And then, so yeah, Begin Again was that anthemic one, so number 3. And then we had a really fast song in Force Divide. So like, that's got to be 4th, because then it just kind of brings you out of the anthemic business. Bolt Cutter is obviously very dark and industrial, and the perfect time for that. We call it the, like, you know, the German song pretty much of the record. They love that like Rammstein sort of vibe. So yeah, so you get what I'm saying. I mean, it kind of ebbs and flows. With Majesty being a track 7, perfect moment for a bit of an interlude sort of vibe. So yeah, it just started to like piece itself together. But before all the songs were written, I knew that it had to be in the order that it is being released. So yeah.
Wow, that's awesome to hear. All right.
Yeah, a bit different.
Absolutely. So would you be able to tell us where Headspace is at while you were creating this record?
Yeah, very positive, very inspired, very motivated, very, very content. Yeah, which is rare, because usually it's it can always be a bit of a tedious process, writing and recording. You know, it's a very we're very fortunate to do so, but it's not without its trials and tribulations. But yeah, I just felt that, like, I mean, speaking for myself, the most liberated I've ever felt writing a metal album, to be honest.
Oh,
awesome.
Okay, so what was different about this album that kind of had you more in an awesome headspace and just like that?
I think a lot of it was the dynamic internally.
Mm-hmm.
We were all just very, very happy to be around each other. Very happy to be in a position where we can create music. Very thankful, for each other's place in the studio and just in our little lives in general. I think we all just, especially coming out of COVID in 2021 and getting back to touring very late 2021, it was just like, this was early 2022. So we started writing at the end of 21, early 22. So call it like 6 months out of lockdown. It was pretty much just that renewed sense of freedom again, which I think really came across in our writing process. And I'm glad it did, because we can carry that through with us now. But there's always been, we've always kind of done this band for the fans, but we felt that this time we were doing it for ourselves as well. And I'm really proud of that and really grateful that that's the case.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
Do you know something? I actually think listening to an album for the first time with your friends is the worst idea.
I agree.
Because unless you're going to sit there in silence, no one's going to truly listen to it. So, bit of a fun story. When King 810 released their very first record, myself and I lived with 3 of my friends at the time, we invited loads of friends round, turned all the lights off in the garage, lit 1 candle. We all just hotboxed the garage, and we listened to the record in full, in the dark. So we couldn't see anything, we were just listening. Because you watch a horror film in the dark, you watch you watch a movie in the dark, so why not listen to a record and like listen to it, like, truly. So we did that, and we absolutely loved it. We had a great time. So if you're going to do that, for sure, light some candles and do a Ouija board in the garage, whatever. But I feel like listening to a record, I'd say, like, go for a walk. Okay. Go for a walk, put your headphones on, just enjoy the movement, enjoy the time, and just let the record kind of do its thing. I just want people to experience it. It's not that we're doing something, oh wow, it's an experience, but it's like, just experience the album for what it is. It's a piece of music we've laboured over for a long time. And if you're a fan of Bury Tomorrow, give it your attention. Because we live in a world now where everything's disposable, even music. We don't really savour any moments anymore. We just look at it through a phone, or we swipe and, we do whatever. But, like, be mindful when you're listening to music, because the people who create it and you listen to it, that's the whole intention. So I think just as a consumer myself, that's what I do with music. I like to queue up some playlists, go for a walk, or just do something mindful. Therefore, I'm mindful when I'm listening. So, yeah, get outside, kids. Do some walking.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking love that. So this one should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Fun, heavy metal, I guess.
All right.
Perfect.
That works.
Fun, heavy metal.
Hell yeah. So can you talk about any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of the album?
It was fun to know that with Black Flame and Cannibal, we were leaning on more electronics and soundscapes and ambience and so on. But live, obviously, we could never really facilitate that. Whereas this time we could lean on that a lot more. Excuse me, and I feel like we could, we could just play to our strengths a little more in regards to and be inspired by different instruments as opposed to just starting with a guitar and so on. I really enjoy the more, and again, this is that Sepultura influence, but I really enjoy the additional percussion that we can utilize now. Like in Abandoners, there's a lot of tom action going on, and I like that. It's like Slipknot-y Sepultura sort of vibe. So I enjoyed that. I wouldn't necessarily say it was challenging, or some of it actually was challenging if I think about it now. Bloody hell. There were just a few moments that we were like completely on different pages on. So I think compromise is always challenging when each party is striving for the greater good or the common goal, which we were. But sometimes you can be inspired by different things, and you subjectively want the best, but assume that your idea is the best. You know what I mean? Ego can get in the way, and you can just be like, no, I'm right. No, you're not. You think you're right, and I'm talking from myself here. And sometimes you have to relinquish that element of control to a degree to hear other people. But that is obviously what we should always do as, compassionate human beings. But it's a struggle as a creative sometimes, but that's just part of it. You can either be a dickhead or just accept that everyone has their own opinion, and sometimes you have to just listen.
Absolutely.
For sure.
On the head. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. You're going in. What is your snack of choice?
Holy shit. If I'm in America, then it's Ranch Pringles. It's Ranch Pringles.
That's the most American thing ever.
Voltage. They're the best. Either like a pizza Pringle or a Ranch Pringle with a can of Mountain Dew Voltage. That is it. And when we come to America, I can guarantee you that'll be it. So yeah, I've got like 2 months before that becomes my reality for like 5 weeks. But yeah, I think that if I'm in the UK, then it's either a bottle of Lucozade, which is this. It's like some energy drink that we got over here. It pretty much tasted like sparkling water, but it's, you probably hate it. They call them Whispers. It's like aerated chocolate, and a bag of paprika Walker's crisps. Okay. But yeah, so I gave you the familiar one for you guys and the more common one for me. Yeah.
I didn't know you guys had like paprika as like a flavor over there. That's kind of crazy.
What, do you not?
No, that's like unheard of. I cook, so I've used paprika, but I've never seen like paprika chips on the shelf before.
Oh shit. Yeah, if you go to Europe, they're everywhere. Like I'm surprised they don't have paprika toothpaste. It's insane.
Paprika toothpaste. That's rank. Yeah, that's a sin, man.
No, they don't really, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did have that. Yeah. But I could sit here and talk about snacks all day. That's pretty much my old regime.
Hell yeah.
Snack lord, they call.
We have a few more food related questions for you. So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
I'd say a deep dish, Chicago style pizza with a lot of cheese, because that is essentially I'm thinking about it now, that's metalcore as a whole. You got like a weighty base. You've got that, it's got a bit dense, it's a bit hench, a bit strong. Chewy enough to last a while, you've got a bit of substance there. And then the cheese, because obviously we've got choruses inspired by, Spice Girls. So yeah, I think that's the cheese. And then you can just put on whatever toppings you want. It's perfect.
Perfect.
I love it. So for these last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music, if that's okay with you.
Perfect.
Perfect. So we're actually going to go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row,
Shit.
what would your last meal be with the drink?
Oh wow. It's changed because I don't eat meat anymore, but I always used to say it'd just be a smashed sort of double patty cheeseburger with like fries and a Coke or whatever. Whereas now I'd actually say I love Japanese food, I think. So it'd have to be like some kind of mushroom, like bao bun situation with like a pumpkin katsu curry. And probably a Lucozade, yeah. I can't get away from this fucking drink. It's followed me around 30 years. Yeah, I'd have to say that. We've got some Japanese food. Either that or a deep dish Chicago-style pizza. One of the two.
Why not both, man?
Yeah, if I can, yeah. I'll definitely have both.
Sounds
with a McFlurry.
All right.
McFlurry thrown in there too. Damn. All right, I see.
You're jamming up the arteries, but there's no tomorrow, so you're all good, man.
Oh yeah, well, I think I'm gonna die anyway. So let's go.
Why not?
Hell yeah.
Ranch Pringles, throw it all in there.
Hell yeah.
Damn. Okay, I love it. I love it.
So if you could live in one fiction world for a week, where would you live?
Angel Grove. If I could be a Power Ranger.
Oh,
Okay.
Power Rangers. Okay. Hell yeah. What color Power Ranger was your favorite?
Red.
Red.
I should be I'm in my wife's office right now, but upstairs where I just like write and everything. This used to be a Power Rangers fucking museum. I collect so much Power Ranger shit.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I'd say Angel Grove. The problem I'd have is the city would get destroyed. But if either of you have watched Power Rangers, they have a really great renovation and rebuilding scheme. Like that shit gets flown straight back up just to get knocked down again. So it'd be noisy, but I'd have the helmet. So yeah, maybe I'd be all right. I'd say Angel Grove, either that or maybe South Park.
Ooh.
You know, like one of the two.
All right.
That'd be awesome. South Park would be great.
Mm.
So I have the honor of asking the last question. Every single person we've spoken to has actually said it is the most important question. What is your favorite color?
It changes all the time. Does black count?
No.
Okay, red.
There you
There you go.
Perfect. Because of the Power Ranger?
I think so. I mean, I used to say blue all the time, but like I do like red. I've got a red car. I've got loads of red trainers. All my black t-shirts pretty much have to have red in them. Like your shirt right now, Glory. You know, it's something about the black and red. It's strong. So yeah, it's a red.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's a great combo.
So as Glory,
actually, I take it back. I'm going to say blue right now because it's the color of our new record, which everybody should go out and buy. So I'm going to say blue.
Oh.
It's actually red.
Perfect.
hell yeah. So as Glory said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Yeah, just in general, thank you to all our fan base for keeping us going all these years, and I hope that the Seventh Son resonates with you. It's soon to be yours, so I hope that you all enjoy it when you can. And we're going to be out in the United States from May the 2nd until May the 20th, starting in LA and finishing in New York. So yeah, if there's a show near you, come out and see us. And yeah, we can't wait to just share this new phase of our band with everyone.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Now has been Kris from Bury Tomorrow, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.